Moving on to the last part of this session, talking about prepositional groups. And you know two functions from last week's lecture. The prepositional groups can serve as a circumstance or a qualifier. When the prepositional group modifies the process, modifies the verbal group, the verb phrase, we call it the circumstance. When it qualifies a nominal group, the noun phrase, we call it the qualifier. So in this session, I'm telling you two more functions, post modifier and verbal group. Next one. So when you get a sentence like this, the analysis will be something like this. And scholars have different names to denote different components of the whole noun phrase. For example, when we use unit X to express the nominal group before the preposition, just like you can see here, the candies. And we say unit Y as the nominal group after the preposition belonging to the prepositional group. So the point here is how we can prove, how we can test if at your shop is a post modifier of the whole noun phrase, the candies at your shop. So we have the first test here. So we have a test here, pronoun replacement test. We replace the nominal group, the noun phrase, with a pronoun to see if it is grammatical. The candies at your shop are remarkably nice. Step 1, they at your shop are remarkably nice. Step 2, they are remarkably nice. Grammatical? Yes, then we say at your shop is a post modifier of the whole thing. Remember this nominal group? We're going to put it in another context. I put the candies at your shop. Similarly, step 1, I put them at your shop. Step 2, I put them. Grammatical? No. This is something to do with the valency about the word put. So we say it's not a post modifier. And we can actually draw a further conclusion on the function of at your shop. Can anyone tell me? We say at your shop is not modifying the whole thing, the candies at your shop. Then at your shop is modifying the process, modifying the verbal group, modifying the action, modifying the word put. How we interpret post modifiers is that post modifiers describe, they modify noun phrases, modify nominal groups. So how we interpret adverbial groups is that adverbial groups modify everything except nominal groups, except noun phrases. So we have two tests to see if the prepositional group functioning as an adverbial group to modify, to describe the verbal groups. The first test, movement test. Yes, to see if we can move the prepositional phrase around within the sentence. Press 1. I hiked on 23rd November. On 23rd November, I hiked. Even if we say I on 23rd November hiked, are they grammatical? Yes, then we say press 1. On 23rd November is an adverbial modifying verb hiked. One more example. Let's go into detail. Into detail, let's go. Grammatical? No. Then we say into detail is not an adverbial modifying the verb phrase go. Yeah. The second test, adverb question test. To ask questions based on the statements given to see if we can obtain an answer with prepositional phrase only. and see if it is grammatical. Press once. I ordered a pizza at Pizza Hut. Where did I order a pizza? At Pizza Hut. Grammatical? Yes. We have the prepositional phrase only as the answer of the question. We use the question word where, and then we say this prepositional phrase is an adverbial modifying the verbal group order. One more example. This issue is independent of another. How is this issue independent of another? Grammatical? No. And actually, how is a tricky word here because how, I believe how does not work in at least some cases. But here in this case, even if you replace how with other question words, I don't know. Why is this issue independent? Or what is this issue independent? And when you get an answer like of another, it's still it's more grammatical. So we say it's of another is not an adverbial modifying is the process verbal group. Yes, so there is no such thing that which test is more suitable in which statement. But the exercise here, can you move to the exercise? Oh, yes. The exercise here is to let you be more familiar with the three tests. Pronoun replacement test, we replace the whole noun group with a pronoun. Movement test, we move the prepositional phrase, prepositional group around to seize grammaticality. And the last test, to be more familiar with the text. So, can you spend some time on this? So obviously, you can see the two prepositional phrases here, in the morning and by chance. So press twice. Go. Go. Press once. Press once. Continue. Continue. You can access the answer keys on Google Drive, and I'm not going over them into much detail. Go to the next slide, please. Yes. Press once. Press once. Good. I was like to talk about it. And the commonality of these four prepositional phrases is that all of them are not post-modifiers. Okay. And then indeed you can see beyond schedule, it is neither a post-modifier nor an adverbial. Then we have to, then what is the function of beyond schedule? Then we need to rely on other tests to investigate, to study these functions, because these three tests are not the only three tests to analyze the function of beyond schedule of the prepositional phrase. And we still have time. Can we go to previous slides? Oh, here it is. Sorry, next slide. Press once. Press once. Yes. And yes. The word beyond, the beyond schedule is not an adverbial because goes beyond is something like a twin. We use beyond to connect goals and schedule. So goals beyond must be a twin. They are twins and they cannot be broken by any forces. So if we do something like movement test or adverb question test here, like we try to, by any means, to separate goals and beyond, and it is a must to obtain a result that the sentence is not grammatical, therefore it is not an adverbial. So I think summary. So far we've talked about these things: pre-modifiers, post-modifiers. Has any questions here?
Questions from people on Zoom and also audience. Actually, I'm just doing very well. Yes, sir. Very good, very good. Let me check people on Zoom. If you have questions. It was actually a bit fast, but I don't drink very less because I know that because of the time. So,
I think that we leave something like 10 minutes. Because when we are doing rehearsals, we have something like 40 minutes.
So we left 5 minutes for
Yes. And yeah.
people on Zoom, hello.